koutou e te whanau, no mai, hoki mai. It's great to be here today, week 6 of term 4, and so many exciting things happening. So today, I hope that you enjoyed that little video when we started Whanau Time today, and that is something that we're working on this week around some rules, getting ourselves familiar with what is acceptable in the bike park. And yes, it is lots of fun, and I plan on coming back and getting pretty good at riding around that. So e tū please, and we'll stand for karakia, e rangi, e papa, e te whanau atua, whakataukia, tō koutou, manakitanga, ki roto, I tēnei mahi o mātou. So today, everyone, I'd like to welcome you here and just have a little chat about what our reflections look like and have been, how they're tracking. But before we do that, I'd like you to enjoy Haere Mai. Welcome everyone. Haere Mai song, it's great to have some waiata up our sleeve so that we can sing when we are together, celebrating our learning and successes at places like Assembly. So after you've sung in your class, Haere Mai, I would like you please to open up the reflections for term 4 and have a look at those. So as you can see, in week 4 we dropped down to 8, which was great, really good. And then we doubled that in week 5 to get 16. And I already know there's 8 reflections today, which is a little sad for week 6's, but let's try really hard not to have any more. I just want to go back and I did a bit of analysing of that, and I just want to say congratulations to all those learners, and that's most of you, who didn't get a reflection over the last 2 weeks. Did you know that the majority of reflections are given to children who do not start school at Grey Main School? So over those last 2 weeks, I analysed those, and most of them are given to children who don't understand our values. Last week, out of the 16 reflections, they were given out mostly for defiance and non-compliance. So children not following instructions in the classroom and not following our rules or the Grey Main way. And 11 of those children did not start school at Grey Main. So only 5 of those children who got reflections last week actually started here when they were 5. And 9 of those 11 actually started school this year. So imagine what our stats would look like if we said, actually, no, we're not going to take these children in who cannot follow the Grey Main way. Where I know we're all working hard. I'm working hard, Mr. B, Mrs. Drake, the teachers, and many of the children. But we've got to stop these children, or just tell them it's not acceptable behaviour, and we don't behave like that. This tells us that our learners, the new learners coming to our school, need to understand that being a Grey Mainer is a privilege and not a given, and that we don't like the antisocial behaviour and we won't tolerate it. So let's all work really hard, because I want to help them, because many children do come to our school because they haven't succeeded or have found success in other schools, and we've got ways of helping those children. So let's do that together. In weeks 2 and 3, classes were asked to present what it was like to be a great learner. And I asked for a bit of a competition, and from that competition, some of the classes were late in putting in their entries. However, T1, I'm giving you hot chips this week for doing really well, because you got your whole class involved in that task. So I've left that in there for classes to share. They were in groups and they did some dramatisation around what it is to be a good learner. So coming back to this term's whakatauki, and our whakatauki this week is around showing excellence. And I'm sure that you've got that all off by heart now. and it means to seek the treasure you value most dearly. If you bow your head, let it be to a lofty mountain. So basically, we are saying, have high expectations for yourself. And if you don't reach it, that's okay, but you've tried really, really hard. And if you have to bow out or can't do something or don't quite reach your goal, it's to something bigger and greater, and that's okay. So part of showing excellence is being organised, being proud, being a risk taker, being resilient and persevering, being creative, and that's what we looked at last week. And, this is what we're looking at this week. We looked at being involved last week. And we've looked at being a great learner, and the last 2 weeks we'll be looking at being critical and reflective. So what does being creative look like? Being creative. Imagine the possibilities. Rather than thinking, oh, this is how it's got to be, imagine what you could do with this learning opportunity. Think outside the box. Children think very differently to adults because sometimes adults just think of the easy way, but children are very creative. Explore new ideas. Express yourself. And when we say express yourself, do that in a very polite and a way that would be acceptable in our school. Be willing to take a risk. That's really important, and that's one of our key goals of showing excellence. And view problems as an opportunity. Okay, we've got this tricky problem. How can we solve it? And children at Grey Main School are the very best of problem solvers. So teachers, I just want you to think very, very carefully about some great activities you could be giving your children to become creative and develop creativity in their learning. Part of our philosophy at Grey Main is learn. We learn new stuff, we create things, and we share it on our blogs. So the creativity is a really good one. When you go to Mrs. Gully's studio, you do art. That's creativity. When I see children doing folk dancing, that is creativity. That is developing your creative thinking skills, developing creativity through the arts. So teachers, I've put a little link in there, Be a Mr. Jensen. And also, why do we need creativity? So there's some homework for you this week as well. But in Team A, there's a little clip on Kids on Creativity. There's a really good TED talk about we're all different, and that's awesome. And it's about a boy talking about a friend of his and how he's got autism. And I think it's really important that we all watch that because, of course, accepting others for what they are and standing out in a crowd is really important. But and being yourself, not actually following on what others think you should do or you think you should do to follow them. So there's a few links there. Just a final message. Today our ambassadors are going to meet this morning, and we're going to develop some rules around the bike check. Please, yesterday I went on and I'd asked people not to go on the sandy bits where the grass seed is, because it concerns me that grass seed won't take. And so we're going to have one area that you'll go on, and please stay off the dirt. Don't take your bikes on the dirt. Don't try not to stand on the dirt areas. Okay, so please be patient while we come up with a plan of how we're going to manage it, because it would be silly to say no one can use it while the grass is, while we're trying to landscape it. So I thought our last song today would be The Bicycle Race by Queen. And I'm looking forward to having some ideas where we could utilise our bike track and perhaps have time trials, have a few competitions before the end of the year. But I'll get my ambassadors to help me with that. So have a good week, everyone. Let's try really hard to reduce the number of reflections, and don't forget to try really hard with those children who have come to Grey Main School not understanding how we roll here with manaakitanga and excellence. So have a good week, everyone. Take care, and I look forward to seeing lots of great things happening through prep.